Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Brad Tragic. And today I'm going to be talking about a movie review as I take my glasses off. I always do that because the glare annoys me when I'm trying to record, and I just do not like that. So, different kind of setting, doing kind of a lazy video review. So I'm kind of slouching. You see the couch and the zebra pillow in the background. Where is that pillow? Oh, it's right behind me. I was like, where the heck is that pillow? Um, But I want to do a movie review today. I finally checked it out. I bought it on Black Friday and just got around to watching it. It's Purge uh, Anarchy, which is a sequel to the original one. And this one, I think I reviewed the first Purge on the channel. If not, then I don't know why I haven't, because I should have. But I remember not liking the original one that much. Like, it was good. It was a good movie, and the concept was great. And a lot of people like the first movie just because of the pure concept of what it was about. Um, and a lot of people, I don't know. There's all talk about how they want a real purge in real life, but I don't know. That's just crazy. It's way too crazy for it to actually happen, probably. But Purge Anarchy was basically the first one was basically confined to a house, and you really didn't see outside much, except for clips of the news and things like that they showed. Um, but I think the first one would have been a lot better if they would have showed them doing things that you've seen in this movie, like outside, like people doing stuff. If they would have showed the bad group of people from the first movie doing things to other people and then showing up at the house, I think it would have added a little bit more to it. Um, but they didn't do that. They just immediately, like, this group just started attacking the house like an hour after the purge started, and it's like, really, they're gonna waste all this time and going after this one family during the purge? Like, what's the point? Like, and I don't think there was any purpose. If I remember, at the end of the movie, they weren't anybody. It wasn't anybody that was after these people for no reason. Like, there was no purpose in them attacking this family. So I don't understand. Um, but the second one basically is about this guy trying to avenge his son's death that happened because this guy. You find out in the movie because he talks about you know he's trying to avenge his son's death. That's all you know. And at the end of the movie, he tells you the story. And the guy was, I guess, drunk and didn't slow down and hit his kid one day. Um, and he got off because of technicality, I guess, probably with evidence or something like that. But he lived in a nice, fancy house and everything like that. And um, his intent in the purge was to go and kill this guy and to avenge his son's loss. But it was a really good movie. I will say this: I like this guy because he used to be on Guiding Light. Um, I used to watch my grandma when I was younger, and I remember him being on there, and I liked him as an actor on there. So something like caught my eye when he was on there that I kind of enjoyed as an actor. Um, and I think that now, hopefully, he gets more roles because I think he does good in this one. And I haven't heard any reviews of Election Year yet, which is the third Purge movie that just came out, probably about 6 months ago or something like that. And I think it went to theaters. I thought it went to theaters. Um, I don't know if this one went to theaters. I know the first one went. I don't know if Anarchy went to theaters. I'm thinking it didn't go to theaters, or it was only in select theaters. And this one, I think, was rolled out to a lot of theaters, probably a lot more than Anarchy was. I don't really remember Anarchy getting a huge ovation, but I think it was way better than the original. I do think there was actual story behind this one, and I think I enjoyed it a lot better. I know I enjoyed it a lot better than the first one. Different aspects to the film. It's just you got to see a lot of what they called the purge in the movie, and just a lot went into it. A lot of thought went into this movie, I think. And a lot of people, probably a lot of the comments that were made about the first one, they probably said, okay, well, let's show more of what would happen during the purge if it happened. But my whole thing about it is here's my one complaint. what they were saying is this was 5 years after the purge had been had been happening, and I guess what they were saying is crime has like declined like less than 5%. Oh no, unemployment was less than 5%, um, and I guess a lot of the crime had dropped off. Um, and you find out different things during this movie, but um, it's weird because not a lot of people were participating in the purge, which that makes me believe like, well, why didn't they go to like the second year of the purge and do a movie like this? Because it would have made more sense. Because then you could have had the same storyline here, but moved it forward to or had the same storyline with the whole the boy and the father storyline thing that's going on. Moved that to the second year of the purge, and then you could have had another movie with the second storyline that they have, and I don't really want to give it away because it kind of gives away half the movie. But you figure out like halfway through, you kind of figure out that storyline. You'll know if you watch the movie. I don't want to give it away. Um, they got to have that storyline because it's 5 years to the purge happened. So um, yeah, it didn't seem like there was a lot of people in the streets. You do see random people doing stupid scenes in the movie that when they're going across the city trying to get to her friend's house in the movie. Um, but it just seems like there'd be more people doing it. Um, because there are always crazy people and always things happening in the world to make people question, their life and things like that. And that's just a life thing. Like people could go crazy. Just one year they want to go out and just kill people for the hell of it. And they want to acquire guns to protect themselves or something, or buy a vehicle, or I don't know, something that people would have money because there's a lot of wealthy people that seem to be going out and doing the purge in this movie. So I don't know, like there was things in this movie like why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? But little things to pick at. But then I mean, all in all, this movie was really well written. I think there's a couple scenes in there I didn't understand, like um, just people like roaming in the streets with like no weapons. That was one. I was like, why would you go downtown to the purge with no weapons? And you're supposed to be a person who's participating in the purge because they get attacked. I think at one point during the movie, and there's a couple guys, and it's like, why would you be downtown? And I think all they had was like a baseball bat or something. Like that's all you had. It's like, dude, there are people with guns. Like, why are you? Why? My whole thing though is finishing this. I would definitely recommend if you've seen the first one and you weren't a huge fan, but you thought there was there's something to the concept. Then definitely check out the second one because I think it'll change your mind a little bit. You'll like the second one more than you do the first one. And I have a feeling the third one isn't really going to do much. It's probably going to be in the middle here. It's probably going to be people probably aren't going to like it very much. I'm assuming that election year is probably going to be the worst one they've did, and it kind of sucks because that may end the series. But I don't know. I think there's too much money to be made off of that idea that they'll probably continue going. But I really think they should go backwards and show like the second year of the purge. Because if they do that, if they do something to where the effect of, because it seems like election year they were going to try and end the purge. So I don't know if it's the end of the thing and it's just going to be a trilogy. Because if it is, it's going to be a very very weak trilogy. Um, but if they ended it with election year, because election year I think had something to do with the presidency and something surrounding the presidency that they're trying to kill one of the candidates. But if they don't, I hope they go back and do that. But I want to say this. I think I totally forgot what I was going to go back to. That's bad. What was I going to say? What was I going to talk about? I totally forget. I think I just wanted to say that they could go back to the second year of the Purge and make another movie. And if they do it in a way to where they at least say what year of the purge that they are in, then we'll be able to chronologically put the purges together, um, to know what year they are, because that would make more sense. So if you do, because I don't think like the first Purge movie was not even the first year of the purge there. So I think that that would be an interesting movie prequel to do, is to go back and show the first year of the purge, even if it's kind of like how do you do like a documentary style but fake. You know what I'm saying? Like that would be interesting, because if they're ending the purge, have the movie start out uh, like with the girl from the election year. If she survived the movie, which probably she did, I'm assuming. Have the movie start out with her talking to this interviewer, and this interviewer kind of this rolling out the documentary footage and showing clips from the first year of the purge that someone was able to capture on film, and they were killed, but the footage was retrieved. Um, and you know, you could go back and all this stuff, and then possibly, you know, letting, you know, everything happen, and the documentary goes forth, and then at the end of the movie maybe he's interviewing somebody else that is uh, maybe thinking about running, or the vice president uh, of it, and maybe they thought that the purge was going to be over, but then something happens, and the vice president at the end of the movie says, well, it's not official, the purge may still happen this year. And that's how you do. And then the end of the movie just shows how the next movie can go. You know, I think that, I don't know, like something like that, or that's how they start the movie, and then they fast forward to the purge as it happens for the last time, and it, you know, it could get crazy. You know, because you think about it, if you tell people you got one last chance to kill anybody you want, I think that would be a good story too. But I think there's a lot more to this that you could show. Like I said, you could go back to the very first year. Do you imagine if next week the purge actually happened in real life, and they said for 24 hours you could do whatever you want? I'm not going to say everything you can do, but you could kill people and other things you could do to people, and you're not going to get in trouble for it. You imagine the chaos that would ensue. Just imagine that. And they didn't even make a movie about that. Like, if they wanted to go all out, they could do that movie. But I think that movie would have to be like rated R, rated RR, rated R squared, because it would have to be like that bad. Like, if they were gonna make a movie like that, like they need to show people getting gutted and chopped up and things like that, because that's the kind of crap that you would probably get in the first purge that would happen in real life. And in movies, you can only imagine what they would probably do. So, with that being said, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about Purge Anarchy movie that happened a few years ago. Uh, Let me know your concept or your thoughts on if they made a prequel or a sequel to after the trilogy. I haven't seen the trilogy, so I haven't seen the third one, but I definitely want to see it. I may rent it when the price drops, because I'm definitely not paying like $13 to rent the movie or whatever, um, or even $5, because I think it's still kind of recently new. So to wait till it drops down, or maybe end up where I can get the trilogy set like cheap, um, and I'll just buy all three of them, because whatever. Because the Black Friday one, surprisingly, because I just saw the movie, I'm like, oh, movie, grab Blu-ray, um, and I was just happy to get that, but it ended up being a Blu-ray DVD digital combo. So I'm like, holy crap! Like I got the three movies and everything that you could possibly use. Um, so that's interesting. So as far as uh, the thoughts on everything. You know, let me know down below what you think about the franchise. Is it done? Is it over with? If you see election year, did they end the franchise? Is it done? Because I can assume there's still money to be made, so they're not going to end this franchise anytime soon. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe as always, and I'll see you guys next time in the next video, which I'm uploading pretty good right now. So hopefully I can keep it up. Hope you guys enjoy it. And as always, keep rocking.